If you sit a lot, deal with a whole lot of lower back pain, or just have weak glutes, this one simple exercise will change everything. And the best part, you don't even need to move. Today we're talking about the glute bridge hold, a powerful isometric exercise that builds strength, reduces pain, and improves posture. The glute bridge hold is a simple yet highly effective isometric exercise where we're going to lift our hips and hold a bridge position. Unlike traditional glute bridges where you repeatedly lower and raise your hips, this version emphasizes sustained tension, which is going to force our glutes, hamstrings, and lower back to engage the entire time. Why does this matter? Holding an isometric contraction trains our muscles to activate properly, which is absolutely critical for both injury prevention and athletic performance. So it doesn't matter if we're a lifter, an athlete, or just somebody looking to improve posture and relieve their lower back discomfort. That last part is huge, guys. The glute bridge hold is going to reinforce proper movement patterns that carry over into squats, deadlifts, and yes, even running. So one of the biggest benefits to glute bridge holds is its ability to wake up inactive glutes. We can call it underactive as well because many people, especially those who sit for long hours, which let's face it, that's pretty much how most jobs are these days, have weak or inhibited glutes, which is going to lead to compensations in the lower back, hamstrings, and even those knees. By holding a glute bridge, we can force these muscles to stay engaged, which is going to retrain them to fire correctly. Not only is this going to help with posture and pain relief, but it's also going to improve performance in all lower body exercises. If you have ever struggled to feel your glutes in a squat or deadlift, adding glute bridge holds as a warm-up can make a huge difference. They reinforce mind-muscle connection, ensuring our glutes are doing its job when it matters most. So here's how to do it correctly. Lie on our back with our knees bent and feet flat on the floor, about hip width apart is pretty good. Press through our heels and squeeze our glutes as we lift our hips until our body forms a straight line from your shoulders to your knees. Make sure that line is straight. Do not have your hips sag. Hold this position, keeping your core tight and glutes engaged. Do not let your lower back take over. You're going to start to feel your body shaking a little bit if you haven't done this either at all or it's been a while. Start with 20 to 30 seconds and then build up to 45 to 60 seconds as you get stronger. To make it harder, try holding one leg up or adding a weight to your hips. To make it easier, lower your hips slightly to reduce tension. Okay, this is why you should add this to your routine. If you struggle with lower back pain at all, and if you're a long-time subscriber to the channel, you know that was one of my worst issues. Lower back pain, weak glutes, or poor posture, holding a glute bridge for just 30 to 60 seconds a day can make a serious impact. It's a low-impact, beginner-friendly exercise that provides long-term benefits without that risk of injury. Try this before leg day or after long periods of sitting, and let me know in the comments if you feel a difference. Spoiler alert, you will. Just like our other bodyweight isometric exercises, 3 times a week is a really nice sweet spot if you're just starting out. Use the time frame I just mentioned and give it 90 days. 30 days is okay, you'll notice a little bit of a difference. 90 days will transform your life. The main muscle groups that the glute bridge works are, you guessed it, the glutes, but that's not all. The glutes are divided into 3 muscle groups. The gluteus maximus, which is the main driver of the movement responsible for hip extension, the gluteus medius and minimus, which helps stabilize the pelvis and prevent hip drop. The secondary muscles work are hamstrings, which assist in hip extension and help maintain the hold. Then there's the erector spinae, which is our lower back muscles, which support the lumbar spine and prevent excessive arching. Lastly are the core, rectus abdominis, and obliques, which again help stabilize the pelvis and maintain a neutral spine. By the way, if you incorporate single leg bridge holds, the demand on the gluteus medius, obliques, and hip stabilizers increase significantly. So do that if you're looking for a greater core and stability challenge. My guess is you've probably done wall sits before. Maybe in gym class, maybe after leg day, but most people never realize what's really happening during that burn. When I first started revisiting wall sits as a strength tool, not just a punishment, I realized something crazy. The pain you feel in your thighs isn't just lactic acid, it's your nervous system learning endurance under load. And if you can push through that, your legs, joints, and even your cardiovascular system start to adapt in ways walking or squatting alone can't even replicate. The wall sit is a yielding isometric exercise, meaning your muscles are contracting without shortening or lengthening. You're holding tension at a fixed joint angle, and that's key. At around a 90-degree knee bend, your quadriceps, glutes, and hamstrings are under continuous load. But the hidden star here is your isometric endurance capacity, the ability of your muscle fibers to maintain cross-bridge cycling without movement. Studies from the European Journal of Applied Physiology show that isometric holds like wall sits can increase muscle fiber recruitment by up to 40% more than dynamic squats at the same relative intensity. That's because you remove inertia. Every fiber that can fire must fire. And here's something most people miss. During a wall sit, your vascular occlusion, the temporary restriction of blood flow in the working muscles, creates a hypoxic environment. That triggers a massive spike in metabolic stress, one of the 3 primary drivers of hypertrophy alongside mechanical tension and muscle damage. So that deep burn, it's your body screaming, we have to adapt. And when it does, you get denser muscle fibers and stronger tendons. Now, to do this right, you want form that demands precision, not just pain. Start with your back flat against the wall, feet about 2 feet out and shoulder width apart. Slide down until your thighs are parallel to the floor, knees stacked directly over your ankles, not your toes. Press your lower back into the wall like you're trying to flatten it. Push your core and keep your chest up. Now hold that position. At first it's going to feel easy, then the shaking starts. Hold that position anywhere from 30 to 60 seconds. For breathing, inhale through your nose, exhale through your pursed lips. Slow and rhythmic. Oxygen control helps you buffer lactic acid longer. Biggest mistakes? Knees drifting forward, slouching the upper back, or bouncing in and out of position. This isn't about surviving the clock, it's about dominating stillness. You can plug the wall sit into any lower body or full body workout. I recommend 3 rounds of 30 to 60 seconds, resting 60 seconds in between. Beginners can start with higher angles, about 120-degree knee bend, and work toward that 90-degree mark. You want to level up? Add a plate or dumbbell to your lap, or try alternating heel lifts for added instability. That challenges the neuromuscular coordination between your quads, glutes, and calves, turning a static hold into a stability powerhouse. Over time, you'll notice something wild. Your standing posture improves, your balance stabilizes, and your legs feel stronger in real life. Walking, climbing stairs, even getting out of your car, that's the transfer effect of isometric strength. So next time you slide down the wall and your legs start shaking, don't think of it as punishment, think of it as reconstruction. Every second you hold is teaching your nervous system to stay powerful under pressure. Start with 3 sets today, and in a few weeks, your legs won't just look stronger, they'll be stronger, functionally and structurally.
Now, if you've ever held a wall sit to failure, you know that something interesting happens. Your legs are shaking, your heart rate's up, but the scale doesn't tell you anything about what's actually happening. And that's where most people mess up with training like this. Now, one of the reasons I've been using the Hume Health Body Pod is because it shows you what's changing under the hood. It's not just body weight, but things like muscle mass, fat mass, and hydration. Stuff that actually matters when you're training for strength and resilience, not just aesthetics. And here's why it matters with isometrics specifically. With yielding isometrics like these exercises, progress doesn't always show up as the weight changes. You might be getting stronger, improving tissue tolerance, and even improving muscle quality, but without the scale moving at all. Body composition data fills that gap. I'll put the link on the screen right here, and it's also in the description box below. If you're watching this around the holidays, Hume usually runs promos, and yes, they do stack on top of ours. So it's worth checking out if you like tracking real data instead of just guessing. Alright, so we've hit the legs. Now let's move on to upper body and see how well you can maintain tension when the fatigue starts setting in.
When it comes to building upper body strength, what do we think of mostly? Bench press, dips, push-ups. But what if I told you you don't even have to move a muscle? That's right, staying still. Enter the isometric push-up hold, a static strength exercise that can help you build endurance, stability, and serious muscle activation without a single rep. Today we're gonna break down how to do it, why it works, and how to program it into your routine. Let's get started. The isometric push-up hold is exactly what it sounds like. You lower yourself into a push-up position and hold it without moving. Depending on where you pause, you can target different muscle groups. Holding at the top engages the shoulders and triceps more, while holding at the bottom, just above the floor, maximizes chest and core activation. Your anterior delts, pecs, triceps, and core all have to work overtime to keep you in position, making this an underrated but highly effective strength builder. So why should you even bother with an isometric push-up hold when you can just do push-ups? Well, first, it increases time under tension, which is the key stimulus for growth. Second, it improves joint stability, reinforcing our shoulders and elbows by forcing them to maintain tension under load. Finally, it's going to strengthen your mind-muscle connection. One of the things I really love about isometrics, and even my clients have said this as well, is that it is fantastic at developing mind-muscle connection. What could be better than holding a contraction and really feeling your muscles work as you watch the clock tick down to 0. There's no better way to develop mind-muscle connection with isometrics, and that's going to make traditional push-ups feel easier and more controlled when you go back to them. So if you're struggling to do more reps, this might be the missing piece in your training. Start in a standard push-up position, hands slightly wider than shoulder width, core engaged and body in a straight line. Lower yourself down until your chest is just above the floor, keeping your elbows at about a 45-degree angle. Hold this position for 10 to 30 seconds, keeping our muscles engaged and resisting any sagging in the lower back. That's huge, guys. If we're a beginner here, start with a higher hold, midway down, and gradually work toward a lower hold as we build strength. We can integrate isometric push-up holds into our routine as a finisher after your push-ups as a standalone strength challenge. Think of it like a push-up version of plank, where you're just trying to completely take the muscle to failure. Or even as a warm-up to activate your chest and shoulders. Try holding for 3 sets of 20 to 30 seconds and progressively increase the duration over time. You want to level up? Now, I didn't record this, but try a one-handed push-up hold. This is going to have a ton more core engagement, so you need to keep yourself stable. Or elevated feet hold to increase the challenge on our upper chest. The isometric push-up hold is simple, but it's really effective. If you're looking for a way to build up strength without equipment and you want to work your anterior chain meaning the muscles on the front side of your body, this is a good place to start. Most people butcher the plank. They either hold it too long, zone out, or do it with form that looks like a banana got into a fight with a plank of wood. But when done right, this one move can bulletproof your core, protect your spine, and improve almost every other exercise that you can do. Let me show you how to make this simple isometric hold actually build muscle, build control, and give you real world strength, not just bragging rights. The plank isn't just a core move, it's a full body tension drill. Your glutes, quadriceps, lats, and even your traps are all firing if you're doing it right. Think of it less like just hold this pose and more like you're trying to crush the floor with your forearms while flexing every muscle in your body at once. This isn't passive, it's aggressive stillness. That's what turns a boring 60-second hold into a transformative strength builder. Now, let's get your form locked in. Elbows under shoulders, forearms parallel, glutes squeezed, quadriceps tight, knees locked out, toes grounded, heels pushing back, lats pulled down. Imagine trying to drag your elbows to your toes, and breathe, but keep the tension. Sharp inhale through the nose, controlled exhale through the mouth. If someone walked by you and poked you anywhere, they should feel concrete, not jello. You can drop planks at the end of your workouts for time under tension burnout, or plug them into a warm-up to activate the entire anterior chain. But here's a better idea. Treat planks as skill work, 3 to 5 sets of 10 to 20 seconds to start, but at 100% total body engagement. This isn't a max duration contest. It's about maximum output per second. So if you're shaking like a washing machine on a spin cycle by second 12, you're probably doing it right. Train it like that 3 to 4 times per week, and you'll feel the difference everywhere. Pull-ups, deadlifts, squats, even your posture walking down the street. A good goal to set out for is 3 sets of 60-second holds. Now, if you're over 30, overworked, or just undertrained in the fundamentals, planks might just be the most honest test of where your body's at right now. The dead hang and isometric pull-up hold are more than just exercises. They're the foundation of raw upper body power. If you've ever struggled to get your first pull-up, felt like your grip gives out too soon, or wish your back had that solid, unshakable strength, this progression is for you. Learning to own your body weight starts with these 2 movements. They teach your hands to hold on when they want to let go. Train your lats to engage like steel cables, and force your core to lock in tight. Master these and pull-ups won't just be possible, they'll feel inevitable. Let's get into this. We'll start with the dead hang, the purest test of grip endurance and shoulder stability. Find a pull-up bar, reach up and take a solid grip. Hands just outside shoulder width, fingers wrapping around like you mean it. Now, let your body hang. Don't just dangle like dead weight. Own the position. Let your shoulders relax slightly, but not collapse. Your arms should be fully extended, but your core stays lightly engaged, keeping you from swinging uncontrollably. At first, your grip might fail in seconds. Your forearms might burn, but stay in it. Breathe. Set small goals, 10 seconds, then 20, then 30. Over time, your fingers will harden, your wrists will hold firm, and your shoulders will feel more stable than ever before. This isn't just about hanging, it's about building resilience. Once your hands can endure the hang, it's time to take control of the pull-up hold, the moment of stillness at the top of the movement where gravity wants to rip you back down. Get your chin above the bar, jump into position, or step onto something if needed, and lock in. Your arms are bent, elbows tucked, back squeezed like you're trying to crush a walnut between your shoulder blades. Hold tight. The first few seconds might feel fine, but then the real battle begins. Your arms tremble, your breathing quickens, and your muscles scream to let go. Ignore it. This is where strength is built. The longer you hold, the more your body adapts, learning to fight against fatigue and controlling the weight. Now, the key to unlocking pull-ups is bridging the gap between the dead hang and the hold. Start small. After a dead hang, try pulling yourself up just an inch or two, then hold. Feel your lats switch on. Let go and repeat, increasing the height each time. As you gain control, you'll reach the full top hold, where you can stay locked in without shaking. Then you introduce negatives, slowly lowering yourself from the top with control, resisting gravity on the way down. Essentially, this is the eccentric phase of the full pull-up. The more time under tension, the faster your strength skyrockets. Stringing this all together creates a roadmap to our first full pull-up, and trust me, you are going to love how you feel after you've accomplished that. Start with dead hangs to build up a grip that refuses to quit. Add in pull-up holds to strengthen the peak of the movement. Then practice small pull-ups, increasing range over time before hitting full reps. Within weeks, you will feel that shift. Your grip won't fail, your back will engage instinctively, and one day, without hesitation, you'll pull yourself up. You've probably seen people holding their legs 6 inches off the ground and thought, that's it. But here's what most don't realize. That tiny movement might be one of the most brutally effective core builders you can do. I tried it myself. What I found shocked me. Within seconds, my abs were trembling, my hip flexors were on fire, and my heart rate was climbing like I was sprinting. But why does something that looks so simple create that kind of intensity? Let's break it down. When you hold your legs 6 inches off the floor, doing what's called a yielding isometric contraction. That means your muscles are producing constant force without any movement. You're resisting gravity, not moving through it. The main players here are the rectus abdominis, transverse abdominis, hip flexors, specifically the psoas major iliacus, and your quadriceps. But it's not just about tension, it's about recruitment. Research from the Journal of Strength and Conditioning Research shows that isometric core exercises like the 6-inch hold create up to 25% higher EMG activation in stabilizing muscles compared to traditional crunches. That's because when you're motionless, you can't rely on momentum. Every motor unit has to fire and stay firing. Full neural drive, full tension. There's another hidden benefit, joint angle specificity. Holding your legs at 6 inches locks your hips and lumbar spine into a position that forces your deep core stabilizers, the muscles that protect your spine, to do the work. You're literally bulletproofing your lower back while training your abs. Here's how to do it right. Lie flat on your back with your legs together and your hands at your sides or slightly under your glutes for support. Point your toes, tighten your quads, and lift your heels just 6 inches off the ground. Now, this part's critical. Press your lower back into the floor, no arching. Imagine trying to crush a small towel under your spine. Breathe shallow but steady through your nose, keeping your abs braced like you're preparing for a punch. Hold that position anywhere from 20 to 60 seconds depending on your level. As you hold, your hip flexors and abs start to fatigue. That's good. That's when your brain recruits more motor units to keep you stable. This is called rate coding, the frequency of neural firing, and it's a key driver of both strength and hypertrophy in isometric work. Common mistakes: raising your legs too high, holding your breath, or letting your back arch off the ground. The goal isn't to survive, it's to maintain perfect tension the whole time. You can add this hold to almost any workout. Use it as a finisher on leg or core day, or as a warm-up before compound lifts to prime your nervous system. Hold for 3 rounds of 30 to 45 seconds with 45 seconds of rest in between. If you want to progress, add a weighted vest, ankle weights, or simply extend the time by 5 seconds each week. The beauty of this move? It demands nothing but your body, yet it delivers measurable neuromuscular gains. It builds strength endurance, improves pelvic control, and even sharpens your mind to muscle connection, something that bleeds into every lift that you do. So the next time you see someone holding their legs off the floor and think it's easy, try it yourself and count how long your abs go before they start shaking. That's not weakness, that's your nervous system learning to hold the line. Start
Start with 30 seconds today, and I promise, within a few weeks, you'll feel a difference not just in your abs, but in how stable and powerful your whole body feels.